What's happening, guys? So you may or may not have heard by now that Layne Norton has a new supplement company called Carbon. He's got two products, one is Prep and one is Recover. I want to do a review on both of these products, but this video is going to be about Prep only, and I'll do Recover in a separate video in the future. It might not be for a while, but there will be one coming at some point. Now I want to get this out of the way first because it'll probably come up anyway, but I just want to have kind of full disclosure and be totally upfront and honest with you. I got these for free. Layne sent them to me. It wasn't as like a sponsorship, or it wasn't to do a review or to say anything good about him. It's just because he's a nice person. So I want to be upfront and honest with that. And obviously I have a little bit of bias because Layne is a friend of mine. He's someone that I very much respect and admire, so there's that. But at the same time, I also know how Layne is, and he's all about integrity, and he would want me to do a totally honest review, so that's what I'm going to do. I've been taking this product for about a month, probably a little over a month now, and I wanted to give it a month time. I didn't want to just take it once and then just give a review, because you really don't know much about a product after one time. There's so many things that go into a good workout or a bad workout besides just a supplement. So I gave it a good, fair use. I got to the end, almost out now, but I'm ready to do the review. So the thing that makes this product unique over most pre-workouts is the fact that it is pretty much stimulant free for the most part. It doesn't have any caffeine in it whatsoever, and it pretty much uses cognitive enhancers instead of stimulants. And I had never really taken cognitive enhancers before, and there's also 2 ingredients in it that I'd never used before that I was very excited about trying, because Layne talks about how good they are all the time, and that's citrulline malate and betaine. And there's 6 grams of citrulline malate and 2.5 grams of betaine, which according to the research, what Layne always talks about, that is kind of the minimum needed to actually have an improvement in performance. The other main ingredient that's in there, that's in most pre-workouts too, but this has a little bit better dosage of it, is creatine monohydrate. And this is something, I gotta be honest, I don't really understand, because when I think of pre-workouts, I think of something that you take before your workout that's going to get you ready for the workout. And creatine doesn't work like that. Creatine is like a stored energy. It's something, it doesn't really matter when you take it. You could take it pre-workout, you could take it post-workout, you could take it before you go to bed, in the morning. Does not matter when you take it. So the fact that it's always in pre-workouts is something I don't entirely understand, but at the same time I kind of do understand too, because it's been proven to work hundreds of times. Probably the most studied and well-known supplement there is for actually increasing performance and all that stuff. So I know why it's in there in that sense, because if you haven't been taking creatine and you now start taking it in this product and you start performing a lot better, well, that product must be good, right? But I was curious when Layne was talking about how he was going to have a supplement company. I was very curious if he'd put creatine into pre-workout or not, and it's in there. I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time I don't get it, because it doesn't matter when you take it. But anyway, it's in there, and just know that. Of course, there are several other ingredients which I'll probably put on the screen here, and I will link a video down below that Layne did previously that kind of goes over all the different ingredients that are in this and why it's in there and all that type of stuff. So if you really are curious about all the different little ingredients, you can go ahead and check that out, but I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm not an expert on this stuff anyway, so it'd be stupid for me to go over it. Now, in terms of the product itself, let's talk about taste first. I gotta say, I was a little unsure of how I would like the taste of this. I got the Cranberry Grape, and while I love grape flavors most of the time, I don't generally like cranberry. I'm not a big fan of cranberry stuff, so I wasn't sure how the combo would go for me, and I gotta be totally honest, when I first tasted it, I didn't really like it that much. I just thought it was okay, I could tolerate it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. I probably would have gave it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. And I just was like, alright, well, I mean, at least it doesn't taste like crap. Some pre-workouts are pretty bad, and it's pretty rare to find a really good tasting pre-workout anyway. But as time went on and I took it more and more and more, I started to like it a lot more, to the point where now that I'm towards the end of the bucket, I love it. I mean, I seriously, probably 8.5 out of 10. I crave this stuff. I can't wait to drink it now. So I don't know what that's all about, but sometimes you just gotta give it a fair chance. And initial taste, not so good. Eventually, really started to like it, and I love that flavor. Now, in terms of actual performance, I have to say, the one thing that I really noticed the most from this was a kind of an increased focus. When I got to the gym, I was really focused, which I never really had that before. And I'm sure that's probably the cognitive enhancers. Like I said, I've never actually used them before, so that probably has a big part to do with it. And I also felt like I had a more sustained energy throughout my workout, whereas a lot of times before, when I would do my squats, bench, and deadlifts in one day, by the time I got to deadlifts, I'd be absolutely wiped out. Now, don't get me wrong, I was still tired by the time I got to deadlifts, but it felt like by the time I got to deadlifts, I had a little bit left in the tank, whereas before, I was off and really just destroyed by then. So that's the good. some of the things that potentially were bad from it. Now, I can't say for 100% certainty that this was from the actual supplement itself. There's a couple things that I kind of noticed when I started taking it where who knows if correlation equals causation or not, but I gotta tell you, like the first probably like 6 or 7 times I took this product, by the time I got to the gym, TMI alert, I seriously was like blowing up the bathroom. I mean, it was like horrendous. And I also have to keep in mind though that I got sick right before I started taking this stuff too. So maybe there was something about the combination of taking that with whatever sickness I had that made that happen, because it didn't happen after that. Like after the first 6 or 7 times, that completely went away and it stopped happening anymore. Whether it had anything to do with that supplement or not, I don't really know, but I'm just putting it all out there, good and bad. The other thing that I also noticed is I started to struggle with sleep a little bit. And I don't know if maybe it's the cognitive enhancers that kind of had me up at night, you know, thinking too much. I wouldn't think so, but I don't know a whole lot about these things either. And even though I took it 10 to 12 hours prior to actually going to sleep, maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. I mean, I'd lay in bed and I would just sit there and think and think and think, and that just kills me when that happens. But I also, again, I was sick, I was coughing at night, so that was keeping me up too, so that could be part of it as well. But the last week or so, I've slept like a baby, so I don't really know, but that could be a negative if you're really kind of someone who reacts to these cognitive enhancers in a certain way. It might potentially keep you from sleeping. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not an expert, but it's just something I noticed while I was taking this product. Then the only potential other drawback is if you're someone who really likes to have caffeine and there's no caffeine in it, but at the same time you can do like I did and you can pick up caffeine for extremely cheap and add it to it if you want, or you can drink it with a Monster or whatever else. I picked up like 100 tablets of 200 milligram caffeine tablets for like $3.50 or something. So caffeine is extremely cheap. That would last me, what, 5 containers of this stuff. So if you really want caffeine, you can add it yourself, but it does not come with caffeine. It does not have a lot of stimulants. So if you're someone that relies upon stimulants, there's also that to keep in mind. Personally, I like that it doesn't have it, because when I don't feel like I need the stimulants, I can just take it and have a better workout. But if I'm really dragging, I can throw my own caffeine in there and I can control the dosage, and it's kind of nice to be able to control it yourself like that. Last drawback to this product, it's expensive. And Layne knows it's expensive. He talks about it's expensive. It's expensive because of all the things that he puts in there. It's properly dosed, so of course it's going to cost more. I believe it's somewhere around $35, $36 for a container for 20 servings, so it's pretty close to $2 per serving. So it's expensive, it really is, but it works, and I guess you pay for what you get. I'm thinking personally for me, I'm definitely going to get it again. I definitely like it, but I don't have a lot of money either, so I can't just throw a bunch of money and take this stuff every single workout. So what I'll probably do is get another container, and I'll only use it on my AMRAP days and probably my Mondays where I do all 3 movements in the same days. So that'll be roughly probably 2 times a week, which that makes the container last me about 10 weeks. So it's a little more reasonable at that point. And then if I need something else, I'll just take caffeine anyway. So that's my review of Carbon Prep. I do think it's a good product. I do think it does what it says it'll do. The big downfall for me is price, but at the same time, you pay for what you get. So there is always that, but it is a good product. Thank you, Layne, very much. I really appreciate it. And I will do a review, like I said, of the Recover in the future, but it might not be for a while because I have a lot more of that product left than I do of the Prep, so I want to make sure I go through the whole thing before I do a review on that one as well. So stay tuned for that, and if you guys have any questions about it at all, just leave them below and I'll get back to you for sure, and I'll see you guys in the next video.